Saluton, and welcome to Esperanto Explained. Today I'll be talking about some fancy grammatical terms, bear with me, transitive and intransitive verbs. There are two different kinds of verbs, and basically the difference between these is, does this verb have a direct object or not? Does it even make sense for this verb to have a direct object? Like, if I'm sitting down, that it doesn't make sense to talk about that having a direct object in a lot of cases. If I'm standing up, it doesn't always make sense for that to have a direct object. But there are other verbs that have to have direct objects. If I'm doing, what am I doing? If I'm making, what am I making? You need a direct object there. That's transitive versus intransitive. Transitive verbs do have a direct object. They give the accusative to something else in Esperanto. If you have a transitive verb, it needs to have that final N at the end of it, or at the end of a direct object near it. If you have an intransitive verb, that means it doesn't even make sense to put a direct object there. When you're dancing, you don't have to be dancing something. You can just dance. One of the most very common intransitive verbs is the verb to be in Esperanto, esti. And that verb is intransitive, so it's not going to give the direct object, the accusative, to any other words near it. Both sides of it are equal. So, you don't need to use the accusative with intransitive verbs. And if you're not sure if a verb is transitive or intransitive, you can look it up. Or you can see how it's used. If nobody ever uses the direct object next to it, chances are it's intransitive. Ci revido!